I bid you all good morning, good evening, and good night wherever you're watching this transmission. And I was asked to do or discuss or cover the weekly jobless claims are about 700,000 a week in the United States of America. Happy Friday to everybody out there. Happy Friday. It's Friday morning here. I'm awake. I just thought, you know what? I got a little bit of time before I open my shop. Good Friday. Happy Good Friday to everyone. Happy Easter to everybody. And I want to cover this real quick before I'm off for the day. Weekly jobless claims rise back above 700,000. So this is what The Hill is reporting. So I kind of wanted to throw this out there first before I follow with other articles. Weekly jobless claims rose above 700,000 last week after briefly dipping below the pre-pandemic record for the first time since March 2020, the Labor Department reported on Thursday. Now, if you've been watching this channel for a while now, you'll know that jobless claims were going up way before COVID. And we have it on our channel. You can see it on our channel. We've been reporting unemployment, like huge record unemployment in 2019 before COVID. So COVID came in at the right time to help this economic or to blanket this economic mess that we're in. But they don't want to fix it. They don't want to raise interest rates. They don't want to fix the problems we're in right now. In the week ending March 27, the seasonally adjusted number of the new applications for unemployment insurance rose 719,000 from the previous week revised total of 658,000. Last week's increase brings weekly jobless claims back above the pre-COVID pandemic, roughly 690,000 set in October 1982. If everybody remembers the early 80s there with the Reaganomics there, weekly claims have been considerably above the level since the end of March 2020, when the onset of the pandemic drove millions of workers out of the U.S. labor market. So there it is. Another 237,000 Americans applied for pandemic unemployment assistance. I think there's 11 million people on that still. A program created to extend jobless benefits to gig workers, contracts, and other who do not qualify for the traditional unemployment insurance. On the whole, more than 18 million Americans were on some form of jobless aid as of March 13, according to the Labor Department. So there it is right there. So let's go into recent economic data. Has shown that consumer confidence is rising and businesses preparing for a post-pandemic future. Even so, the steady rise of COVID cases through much of the U.S. in March have been thrown another wrench into the economy. So what's been happening here in Canada? It's still full blast COVID. In Canada, COVID, dangerous, more lockdowns, curfews. You can't leave the country. England is proposing a $5,000 fine if you leave England, the UK, because a lot of people are leaving the UK and they're fleeing to Argentina. Apparently, from what I've been hearing, a lot of UK that have a little bit of money, could sell a bit of property or have a little bit of assets they could unload, they're fleeing to Argentina, from what I heard. So there's a lot of, they want to keep a lot of people in there because without the people paying the taxes, obviously nothing gets funded towards the infrastructure, right? So we got the same article here. New unemployment claims jump to 719,000, but spike likely temporary as U.S. economy strengthens. So, like everything. Look, guys, I'm invested in this too, okay? I've invested in oil. I've invested quite a bit in different types of oil companies, energy companies, even some airline in the last couple of weeks, because I believe that things will strengthen in the U.S. Canada's pushing for a snap election right now, and so people can't go in-person voting. So this way they could do mail-in ballots just like they did in the States, so you could get a new select government, right? So, new unemployment claims, so there it is right there. The numbers of new applications for U.S. unemployment benefits rose late March, so there it is right there. Unemployment claims now below the 1 million. Faster hiring and fewer layoffs set to drive unemployment lower. Economists surveyed the Dow Jones on Wall Street Journal had forecast new claims would fall seasonally adjusted to 675,000. That's pretty much on par what it usually sits at. So, but then we're getting from here, unemployment rates fall to 6% in March. Employers add 916,000 jobs. So this is from ABC News, always broadcasting crap. So what are they saying here? Well, the U.S. unemployment rate has last month slipped into 6% as some 1,916,000 jobs were added to the economy, the Department of Labor said on Friday. Friday's jobs report comes amid glimmers of hope that the end of the pandemic is within sight. The COVID-19 cases fall across the country, and vaccines access is finally opening up. So none of this is making any sense, because in Canada, it's the complete opposite. We are looking at, in Australia, Australia's been open too, but Australia, it doesn't take much. It takes a guy to have a cough in a grocery store, and that's it. They shut down the province or the city, right? So let's move back here. So there it is right there. So then we got March jobs report, payrolls rise by 916,000, unemployment rate drops to 6%. U.S. economic brought back more jobs than expected in March. So I don't know, guys. It looks like everything seems to be on track in the United States of America. So change in non-farm payrolls, 916,000, that's 660 plus 660,000 expected, and revised 468,000 in February. Unemployment rate at 6% versus 6% expected, and 6.2% in February. Average hourly earnings month over month is 0.1% versus 0.1% expected, and a revised 0.3% in February. Average hourly earnings year over year, 4.2% versus 4.5% expected, at a revised 5.2% in February. At 916,000 payrolls last month grew, but the most since August. Payrolls for both January and February were also revised higher. January's payroll change was upwardly revised to 233,000 from 166. So they're revising them, saying that they were under reporting that, so they have to report it like they were underreported, so they had to actually adjust the numbers. And this one here, more veterans finding work as unemployment rates drop again. So there's this is from the Military Times, and I don't think the Military Times would make that up. I know they're very reputable, and I know they are very good at keeping the truth. And then you have here Zero Hedge. There are still over 18 million Americans getting government jobless benefit. So after mixed messages in last week's claims data, so this is the mixed messages we're going over now, and initial record pandemic continuing claims analysis expected a further fall in first-time jobless benefit seeker, but were disappointed as claims rose from 684,000 the previous week to 719,000 last week. So what is this? Where is this coming from? Why are they reporting it here? And then why are they reporting something completely different? Are we... So let's go over what they're saying here. We got this open here. Give me a second here, guys. There it is right there. So let's open up this graph so you guys can see it better here on your end there. So there it is. Weekly change initial claims. So these are the claims going up, and these are the jobs going back. So this is going into negative claims here. So you got Iowa, Colorado, Missouri, North Carolina, Alabama, Maryland, Illinois, Michigan, Indiana, Florida, Massachusetts going back up, and then you got states going into this. You got states going into claims. So this is not seasonally adjusted. So you got Virginia getting hit pretty hard, Kentucky, Georgia, California, all these states here, Oregon, Idaho, Hawaii, that are going into jobless claims, and these are coming out of jobless claims. Let me adjust that so you can see that on your screen there. These are coming out of jobless claims, and these are going into jobless claims. So let's move on. So we've been covering this for ages. Unemployment shutdown, job losses, all kinds of stuff, food banks, and this is all 90% of our jobless claims videos that we've made were way before COVID, and that's what happens. That's what happens when you have a channel that's over 10 years old. You could go back and you could re-reference what you talked about when it came to job losses, unemployment. We did a couple of Mike in the Night job losses from 2-3 years ago. And it's kind of funny how the federal government creates public sector jobs just before an election. That happened in Canada, and that happened in Australia when Scotty Morrison was running for re-election there in Australia. Basically, he was... they created so many public sector jobs, it looked like the jobs were going up, and no. Public sector is basically a burden on the private sector workers that are paying taxes. It creates artificial numbers. So now what we need to ask now with these numbers that we're getting here in the United States, what we need to know is how many of these jobs are public sector workers and how many are private. No, not these ones. Not these are job losses. These job claims. 916,000 jobs. Is this private sector? It probably is private sector. I hope it is private sector because I want to see an end to this BS. This BS needs to go, but unfortunately in Canada is a completely different country, a different dystopian outlook on things, and unfortunately, unless we get a snap election, they're going to be pushing this forward and pushing this forward and pushing this forward until they can get the whole mail-in ballot system. That's just my opinion on what I think is happening here in Canada, and it's not looking good, especially even in Australia and New Zealand. New Zealand is reopening again. Australia looks like it's back on track. Australia and New Zealand have no reason to be pushing this any further. It's done. They got Trump out of office. It's over. Like, let's move on. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with the UK is losing citizens right now. We're going to see a mass UK mass exodus. A lot of people are going to Argentina, from what I heard. Some people are going to Belize. And some people have even gone just to southern Portugal, because they had like summer homes in southern Portugal. And some people are permanently moving to Portugal now from England. So let me know what you guys think in the comments below. I really look forward to reading your comments on the current situation that's happening. Unemployment, are they manipulating job numbers? It wouldn't be a surprise. Look forward to reading your comments, guys. Thanks for joining me on this update. We'll know by the end of March, so at the end of April and May, where things are headed. It is I, Mike Martins. I have spoken.